The Lakers and the Timberwolves. LeBron James, he had 12 career assists on game-tying or go-ahead shots inside the final 10 seconds of the fourth quarter and overtime. So just over 10 seconds left here. Score tied. I mean, this is just as clutch as it gets. LeBron James kicks it out. Schroeder, wide open three. And LeBron James, he takes us through that play.
I've been playing a game like that since I was a kid. I drew the defense, trust your teammates, and he knocked it down.
Middle of the season, I had the same shot, and I missed it on the same spot. So this time I was very confident, just let it go. He trusted me, made the right read, and yeah, I made it.
So another look at two Schroeder shots here. The left is December 23rd. The right was Tuesday. He comes up clutch. The Lakers win it 108-102. And now we know the first round matchup. Caesar Sportsbook has the Grizzlies as just a very slight favorite against the Lakers here. LA, just a little squeaky squeak. LA tries to become the first 7 seed to win a first round series since the Spurs did it in 2010. But get your popcorn ready because the Lakers win last night. Ahead of that, Dillon Brooks, he was asked who he wanted to play in the first round. Here's what he said.
I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series.
Why?
The legacy's there. First time back in the playoffs, knock them out right away in the first round. They'll test us good, you know. They got good pieces, good players, and that'll be a good first-round matchup for us.
Really good team, very well coached, very well balanced. Obviously, the head of the snake is John Morant. But another all-star in Jaren Jackson, who was up there, won the Defensive Player of the Year. Tyus Jones, the point guard off the bench, has led the league in the assist-to-turnover ratio like the last 6 years. He complements them very well. Desmond Bane, you know, they got Luke Kennard, who broke my scoring record in high school. And they got so many other guys also off the bench that you can't disrespect because they will make you pay. Obviously, I haven't thought about Memphis one minute.
All right, so game one isn't until this weekend, but it is never too early to start previewing this game. So we're going to play a little game of our own.
Okay.
Who is the best player, two-way big, the role players, and the X factor in this series? Richard, would you like to get us started, or do you want Sinead to?
Put my selection. LeBron James is the best player in this
Don't do
series.
Richard, not now, please. Mr. Roboto.
I don't have a good robot.
No,
I really
please don't. Please don't.
Hey. Okay, sorry. Okay, I can do a robot. I'm going to go with John Morant just because his team obviously has the best record in the NBA when he plays at home. I believe it's 35-6. So if they're starting at home, he feels good. He averages around 27 on the floor. I've got to go. It has to be John Morant if they want to improve this postseason.
Memphis is such a tough
Play
place
my
to play.
two-way big. Anthony Davis is the best two-way big by a slight margin. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is a better defensive player right now. He's a better offensive player, but I think he is the best two-way big in this series.
Okay, a little energy, Richard. I'm going to actually say the same thing. It has to be Anthony Davis because we all know that he can lead the Lakers in scoring in this series, but also if they want to win, it's going to come through their defense.
Yeah.
And he's also the anchor of their defense.
Well, it's going to be really interesting to see Jaren Jackson Jr. go up against Anthony Davis. We know no Steven Adams is going to be available in this series, but what have we said about Jaren Jackson all year? Foul trouble.
But he has been improving, especially,
He has been improving there.
offensively.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes
Play
down.
my role player. Play my role player. It's the Memphis. I think
the Memphis.
It's the Memphis.
The whole Memphis.
They are the role players. The community.
But they are very depleted.
Play yours. Who's your role player?
I'm going with the Lakers.
Oh.
The Memphis Grizzlies, if their roster were healthy, they would have won in a landslide. But
Here's
they're
my
not.
X factor.
So that's why I'm going with the LA
Here's my
Lakers.
X factor.
Richard.
The Lakers or Memphis third best player?
Wow.
The best player
That's
in this
very
series is LeBron.
Chiney of
the
you.
best player in the series is LeBron James. The second best player is John Morant. Whichever team has a third best player, if it's Anthony Davis, if it's Jaren Jackson Jr., whoever does it, that's it.
Now you know how we feel, though.
Richard, get over here. Okay, I'm taking your best player. Your best player is LeBron James. My X factor is Dillon Brooks.
The Lakers outlast the T-Wolves in OT to earn the number 7 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. LeBron had 30 points, 10 rebounds in the 108-102 OT win over Minnesota in the play-in. The Lakers will now face the number 2 seed Grizzlies, and that's exactly what Dillon Brooks wanted based off what he said yesterday before Memphis knew who they would face. Take a listen.
I don't really dislike nobody. I just bring a competitive edge. But I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series.
Why?
The legacy's there. First time back in the playoffs, knock them out right away in the first round. They'll test us good, They got good pieces, good players, and that'll be a good first-round matchup for us.
SA, reaction to what Brooks just said there?
Well, first of all, I love it because he's letting you know what he wants. He wants the big challenge. Obviously, he believes they can beat him. They can pull him off. It's talking about sending home a legend in the first round. That's a direct statement from him, essentially. Yeah. He's got to play better in order for them to help him do it. I mean, what is it? I'm looking at his numbers right here, Jay. Shot 39% from the field, 32% from three-point range. He's going to have to do a little bit better because I think that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to try to force them to do that. If you're thinking about Bane and the way you talked about he's played this year and his shooting capability. And you obviously know what Ja Morant can do and what have you. I mean, who's the person that you want to take a chance on when it comes to shooting the ball? It might be Dillon Brooks at that particular moment in time. We've got to take all of those things into consideration. But for me, I love the fact that they have that kind of moxie. I thought they were a little bit out of control last year and into this season before the whole Ja Morant thing came in the fold. Once that happened, I think they got significantly more serious about their business. I think they played better basketball since Ja returned, and I think that that's helped them because if you remember, at that particular moment in time, we were looking at the Memphis Grizzlies and we saying, yeah, they talented, yeah, they one of the top 3 teams in the West, but they talking a lot of smack for somebody that hasn't won anything. At some point in time, you got to back it up and you got to deliver. I love the fact that he wants to accept this challenge. I love their swag. I love how they talk, so long as they back it up. And he obviously is somebody that is an instigator. He's one of those, he's going to be a future Hall of Fame pest. That's what he's going to be. That's who Dillon Brooks is, and I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I loved it too. And I took this as a very reasonable soundbite.
Okay.
And I took it as a sign of respect that he was showing LeBron. I mean, he mentioned the word legacy, of course. The legacy is there. And he also said this is going to be a test. And I think this is a Memphis Grizzlies team that for the last 2 seasons, I believe that internally they have championship aspirations. Like they legitimately think that they can go out and win a championship. And the idea that in the first round, you get that test. And Rondo was on the show yesterday and he talked about how difficult it is to beat LeBron James in a 7-game series. So good for Dillon Brooks. Yeah. If that's what they want. You bring up the offensive stuff with Memphis again, because I know we had talked about it earlier. Sure. And I'll keep hammering this point home because I think it's important.
Okay.
To me, the key for the Grizzlies is not how Ja Morant plays. Okay. I think Ja Morant is transcendent, and he's going to figure out a way to have an impact and be productive on the offensive end. To me, it comes down to Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay.
In the half court, can those guys produce against this Lakers defense?
Okay, somewhat I agree with you. First of all, Jaren Jackson Jr., definitely. But with Steven Adams and Brandon Clark out, you know that the Lakers believe AD's got to have a big series. Obviously, Jaren Jackson is prone to foul trouble. How he plays effectively, how effective he plays is going to determine a lot. No argument there. I just think that it's not just about his offensive efficiency. It's about him making sure he stays in the game. And it's that defensive presence that gives you those 3 blocks a game. You're going to need something like that against the Los Angeles Lakers from time to time. That's one. But I would tell you that I think that because of Adams and Clark's absence, I anticipate the Lakers offense to be a bit more effective and productive because I think they're going to throw the ball aside, try to get Jaren Jackson in foul trouble, try to make things happen. As a result of that, Ja's going to need to be transcendent. I'm not saying those other players can't produce like you're saying, but I'm not going to minimize what's going to be needed from Ja Morant because I think games are going to be tight. And you're going to need that.
So you're basically saying that because of the Lakers emphasizing we're going to attack Jaren Jackson Jr. and try to get him in foul trouble with Anthony Davis, he's going to be asked of so much defensively that it's going to be on Ja to produce. Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
How many technicals does Dillon Brooks have? And can he get suspended a game because he's Mr. Technical Foul?
I think it resets.
I know, I'm sure it does. No technical fouls, please. Okay. And one thing about Memphis, they are awfully chatty because they played Golden State pretty well last year in the second round. You know, they had a chance. They could have won it. They lost in 6. Morant was hurt a lot. They are off. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Take it easy. I mean, they make it sound like they won 5 championships.
That's what they were being accused of.
So from that standpoint, I would prefer that maybe he not get LeBron riled up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
They're a
not
little
what I
chatty.
Why would you prefer that? I understand why their coach would prefer that. Maybe some of their teammates. Why would you, Mad Dog Russo, talk
wise.
radio, own channel, 3 hours a day? Why would you prefer that he not agitate LeBron James?
You know, he's not Larry Bird, Dillon Brooks.
Everybody's not Larry
Can
Bird.
I ask you a
to
question?
Who is Larry
Is
Bird?
there any way,
Anybody.
at any point in time, you can reference a current player?
Yeah, how about that?
Are there any current players that you think are good?
I think
You like Giannis.
I do love Giannis.
You love Giannis.
You wouldn't see Giannis do this.